$12.5 billion, gone. 800,000 tourists, vanished. These aren't just numbers, they're families, students, and business travelers who once filled America's streets. From Miami's beaches to Manhattan's avenues, a silence has replaced the vibrant hum of global visitors. Jobs are lost, businesses shuttered, and communities built on tourism are unraveling. The U.S., once the world's dream destination, now faces a harsh truth. Travelers are looking elsewhere, drawn by Europe's charm or Latin America's vibrancy. This isn't just about lost revenue, it's about lost connection, soft power, and cultural exchange. Empty hotels and vacant attractions are the evidence of an identity crisis. Today, we count down the top 10 U.S. states collapsing fast as tourism boycotts and shifting travel patterns sweep across America. Florida's identity was built on sun, sand, and theme parks, a promise that once drew millions. Now that promise is fading. Orlando's International Drive is subdued, hotels are empty, and for rent signs replace bustling shops. The loss of international tourists has left a gaping hole in the state's economy. Beyond economics, Florida's political climate and controversial laws have sparked global boycotts and travel advisories, tarnishing its image. International travelers now seek destinations free from tension, leaving Florida to question whether it's still a welcoming paradise. The magic is fading and the sunshine is eclipsed by uncertainty, an identity crisis money alone can't fix. California, once the embodiment of the American dream, is losing its luster. Hollywood, Silicon Valley, and national parks no longer draw the crowds they once did. International arrivals at LAX have plummeted. Hollywood Boulevard and Napa's wineries are quieter than ever. The state's economy, from luxury boutiques to family diners, is feeling the shockwaves. Viral images of homelessness and crime, combined with soaring costs, have tarnished California's image abroad. The engine of innovation, fueled by global visitors and new ideas, is sputtering. The California dream is now a harder sell, replaced by a narrative of dysfunction and unaffordability. New York, the city that never slept, now feels eerily quiet. Times Square and Broadway are subdued, with thin crowds and shuttered shows. The economic impact is severe. Luxury retailers, yellow cabs, and historic hotels are all struggling. High prices and stories of crime have made potential visitors think twice, pushing them toward more accessible European capitals. The city's legendary energy has faded, leaving small businesses and cultural icons at risk. New York's reputation as the world's crossroads is slipping away. The city that once sold itself as the center of the universe now finds itself on the periphery of global travel. Las Vegas, once America's playground, is feeling the chill as international cash dries up. Casino floors and high-stakes poker rooms are empty, and the city's world-class restaurants and shows are struggling to fill seats. The city's brand of mass-market luxury is losing appeal. Today's affluent travelers seek authenticity and exclusivity elsewhere. The economic losses are staggering, with thousands of jobs at risk in a city built on tourism. Vegas, once bold and unique, is now seen as loud and less special. The city faces an identity crisis, wondering if its signature fantasy is still what the world wants. Texas, long reliant on international visitors, especially from Mexico, is feeling the strain as cross-border tourism collapses. San Antonio's Riverwalk and Houston's convention centers are quieter, with businesses reporting sharp drops in international customers. Political rhetoric and strict border policies have created a perception of hostility, driving away legitimate travelers. The state's image of warm hospitality is being replaced by one of division and strife. Texas is losing not just tourist dollars but vital cultural and economic ties. The big Texas sky now looks out over a lonelier horizon. Hawaii, once the ultimate dream destination, is now out of reach for many, especially Japanese tourists, whose numbers have plummeted. The cost of visiting has soared, creating a two-tiered experience: luxury for the wealthy, frustration for everyone else. Local businesses suffer, and the famous aloha spirit is tested as residents grapple with over-tourism and rising living costs. The downturn brings economic pain, but also sparks debate about the future of tourism in the islands. Hawaii must decide what kind of paradise it wants to be, and for whom. For most, the Hawaiian vacation is becoming just a dream. Chicago, once America's great connector, is now feeling isolated as international visitors dwindle. O'Hare Airport and McCormick Place Convention Center are shadows of their former selves, with airlines cutting flights and events disappearing. The city's vibrant culture is overshadowed by negative headlines about crime, deterring tourists. The decline ripples across the Midwest, leaving the region more disconnected from the world. Illinois is learning that being the heart of the country means little if the arteries to the world close. The state faces a tough fight to reclaim its place on the global stage. New Orleans, famed for its soul and celebration, is losing its international flavor as European visitors fade away. The French Quarter's energy is subdued, and businesses that relied on high-spending tourists are struggling. The city's unique heritage is at risk as the balance between preservation and mass tourism tips. Safety concerns and a sense of lost authenticity are driving discerning travelers elsewhere. Louisiana faces the challenge of keeping its soul alive without selling it out. The blues now echo not just in music, but in the state's economic and cultural outlook. Washington, D.C., once a pilgrimage for global visitors, now stands quiet and diminished. The National Mall and Smithsonian Museum see fewer international guests, and the city's tourism ecosystem is shrinking. The loss of international students and diplomats erodes America's soft power and global influence. Political polarization and images of unrest have transformed DC's reputation from beacon of democracy to symbol of dysfunction. Heightened security and closed attractions make visiting less appealing. The decline of DC tourism is a sobering symbol of a nation losing its standing as the world's capital. The biggest collapse isn't a place, it's the American brand itself. Once a symbol of freedom and opportunity, the U.S. is now seen as divided and unwelcoming. Political strife, safety concerns, and rising costs have eroded global trust. The world is quietly turning away, choosing stability and welcome elsewhere. Rebuilding America's image will require more than marketing. It demands a return to openness and unity, the urgent task to repair a brand and a nation before it's too late. Empty streets and silent landmarks tell the story of a nation at a crossroads, its allure in question. The economic and cultural costs are immense, but the loss of global connection is even greater. The challenge ahead is monumental. Can America rebuild its image, or will these states become mere postcards from a bygone era?